Hi, this is Dr. Lauterbach, and I'll review the things that we did in class on May 16th. I went over the syllabus. You have a copy of this in your Blackboard course. These are the required textbooks. The only one I listed here is the textbook for the course, although you should also have the APA 7 manual. This textbook is provided by Slingshot. If you haven't received yours or haven't obtained one, reach out to me and I'll help you get it. You'll also find additional assigned readings in the course modules. This shows how we distribute the grading across the course. There are 3 quizzes in weeks 4, 7, and 10 that account for 15% of the grade. There are 2 written assignments in weeks 3 and 5, and they together account for 20% of the grade. There are discussion boards in weeks 6, 8, 9, and 11. Together they account for 20% of the grade. The health promotion project, which I will discuss in detail in a moment, accounts for 25% of the grade. And then there is a final examination, which accounts for 20% of the grade. We also have a simulation that you will do in small groups, and that is pass-fail. Here you will see the course schedule. It has the week, and the weeks for this course begin on Monday morning and run through Sunday night at midnight. All the assignments are listed in the course schedule. If an assignment is due, for example, here you see the assignment for week 2, group project contract, then that is due at the end of week 2, on the Sunday night at the end of week 2 at midnight. You'll also see the topics, and I've highlighted when we have synchronous or on-ground meetings to help you find that easily. Looking at week 1 as an example then, here's the meeting, here's the date and time. The assignment that you have is Introduction to the Course Syllabus and Assignments, Introduction to Project Concert, which will come up later in this video. Meeting with assigned groups, which we did do in class. You have been assigned to a group. You can find that in Module 0. It says Group Project Groups. Just open that up and you'll see which group you have been assigned to, and then it's up to you to contact members of your group. We also recommend that you order immunization schedules. The directions are in Blackboard. I recommend that you go ahead and use the cdc.gov/vaccines website as your source of truth, because printed materials for vaccination schedules, especially in the last few years, have gone out of date really quickly. We have the reading assignment, which is the textbook, chapter 1, pages 2 to 5, and then I have chapter 23 and chapter 24. This goes out of the normal order of the textbook because these chapters will help you very much in the early thinking about your group project. The following weeks follow the same process. If there's an assignment due, it'll appear here. So you have a group project contract, which only one member of your group will have to upload. I've set up the groups in Blackboard so that Blackboard will assign the group grade to all members of the group, but only one member needs to upload the assignment for grading. Here's an individual written assignment due in week 3, your health behavior theory assignment. We'll go over that briefly in a few minutes. And you can figure that out going on through the rest. Just to point out, we do have a synchronous Zoom for this simulation. which you'll learn about as we get to it. And that can be done, will be done only on Zoom. But the final exam I want to point out to you, which starts at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, August 15th, you have to be on ground for that. So if anybody's going to have trouble with that, we should discuss it as soon as possible. You can always reach me at my email, clauderbach@madonna.edu. This section of the syllabus goes through the individual course assignments. The first one is a health behaviors theory assignment, and you will pick one of the scenarios and then apply one of these health promotional models, which are covered in the textbook. And then, with that in mind, you will choose the behavior theory and construct to approach an assessment, intervention, and evaluation of care for the chosen scenario. Items to consider are a very brief overview of the theory you chose or studied, what assessment questions might arise from using the theory in the chosen situation, and what are the short and long-term goals. What are the intervention strategies suggested by the theory? Reflect on how the model helped you frame your assessment questions and plan your interventions. Discuss your takeaway pearls about potential use of the theory in general in health promotion practice. Keep to 2 to 3 double-spaced pages using APA format. Feel free to use your text as a reference. And then the rubric for how I grade it. The next one is your immunization assignment. That actually comes in a PowerPoint format with a number of case studies. There are 7 of them. You will do all 7. And when you open that, you can see that it describes a patient, their immunization history, and then it asks you to identify what immunizations do they need now and in the future. You can do that with other people. You can do it in your groups of that you do in the group project if that's convenient, or just with other people. I don't require you to do that individually. However, you must upload your own assignment into Blackboard. Here we talk about the health promotion project. There are 2 major work streams in this course. One, the first work stream is reading the texts and the assigned readings, taking the quizzes, and the final exam. The other, equally large part of this course is a health promotion project, which you do as a group. As I said earlier, you have already been assigned to a group, and you can find that in Blackboard Module 0 into the groups. You will be in group 1, 2, 3, or 4. These are the age ranges for the group assignments. You have a number of assignments within the group project assignment. You have to complete a group contract, which has to be uploaded in the next week in Blackboard. You have a literature review, which you have to do. This is not an extensive, the full state of the science kind of literature review. It is usually 2 to 3 pages with a minimum of 6 articles as it relates to what you plan to do as your intervention project. But at the end of this project, let me just say now, you will have to be in the community in some fashion, at some place, doing an event or a educational, a health screening, something. You have to actually do something. And it is up to you and your group to find your venue, to find where you're going to do that. Places that I suggested in class were churches, schools, senior centers, different places that you may know. It is absolutely appropriate to select someone somewhere that you interact with in your life. I mean, that's an easy way to find them. If any of you, after you've given it a reasonable amount of effort, are unable to find a place, then you need to contact me. So I would want to hear about that by week 3 if you haven't figured out what you're going to do and where you're going to do it. After the literature review, your group will create a health brochure or flyer, and the instructions are here. Most people do that in PowerPoint. You don't have to go out and find an expensive proprietary software to create a brochure or flyer. You can do it in Word, you can do it in PowerPoint, but here are the criteria that I'm looking at, that you're doing it based on a USPSTF, is the United States Preventive Services Task Force, and it is the place that we get a lot of our health promotional care guidelines. So be sure to go to that site, uspstf.gov, and other evidence-based guidelines. So you have to show how you found this stuff. And examples would be cancer screenings, infectious diseases like sexually transmitted infections, or vascular disease immunizations, and so forth. You're going to do it focused on your assigned age group. So you review the guidelines for those in your age group that are vulnerable, because all of these are focused on people's health risks. As you might imagine, the health risks of an adolescent are significantly different than the health risks of an older adult. Same could be said for early adulthood, middle adulthood. That's how we came up with the 4 groups. And the group's liaison, whoever that is, will submit one of them into Blackboard, and all of you will be assigned the same grade I give the group. Then you do your project out in the community. And the final point is you will do a presentation of your project, and this outlines what needs to be in your presentation. I presume you will create your presentation in a PowerPoint format, and then we will share them on a Zoom. So you will be giving your report of your intervention project to me and to your classmates in the Zoom session. I believe that comes in week 12. And then the final step is you have to complete a peer evaluation. Now you do that individually. It's not group graded, but you have to put it in to complete the whole assignment. Now I'm going to show you how I've organized the course in Blackboard. So these are all the courses I'm teaching this semester in UR 5240, hybrid, but we do it mostly web-based. We do have some on-ground synchronous Zooms. So let's go in here and have a look. I did point out, if you didn't see it in the announcements, we plan to do, we get a lecture during the course from the Wayne County Health Department on vaccinations. We had planned to have them come in week 5, but they are unable to do that. We had to switch around, so they're coming in week 6. That's an on-ground Zoom, but if you can possibly make it, you will find it's an incredibly beneficial lecture, and with the interaction, it's easier to interact if you're in the classroom, and you'll get more out of it. But we will have Zoom on, and it will work, so that's up to you. But I highly recommend that you come in for that lecture. Students have found it very, very valuable. And the more interaction you have with the speaker, the more valuable it becomes. So over here on the left, we'll open up course modules. And you can see that we have, well, you can't see this yet because I've hidden a lot of this, but there will be 14 of them. I have posted so far through Module 4. Let me use Module 2 as an example. You'll have a description, an overview, the outcomes for the module. Readings and resources will be there, textbook readings, additional required resources, and then additional optional resources. There will be a mini lecture every week. I'm putting it in as optional because I really reprise what's in the textbook with a few enhancements. But the quizzes and the final exam will come from content in the text. I won't pull anything that isn't in the text into a question. Obviously, there's going to be redundancy of information that you see in supplemental readings, other required readings, and the text, but I will limit tests and quizzes to the textbook. I will also make sure in the mini lecture PowerPoint, the mini lecture, that you will actually, I'm making sure that you get the information you need for those quizzes and tests there. So although I'm making it mini lecture PowerPoint and the mini lecture additional, I really recommend that you do it, that you watch them. Beyond that, you'll see other items for the week, and then I also put in the same information you see here in a Word document. It's just redundant. Discussion boards are just as you see them. I don't use the water cooler. I'll be removing that actually. We do have a discussion board here, and then I have discussion boards coming up later in the class. But I haven't opened them yet. They will be opened a week before you have to actually complete them. And the rules for participation in discussion board are the same as you've had in other classes. I want you to put in an initial post. I want it to be in by Wednesday, midnight, so that your fellow students can read it and react to it. And then I want each student to react to 2 other students' posts and to have everything done by the Sunday at midnight deadline. When we have Zoom meetings, you can always find the Zoom meeting in the tab I just opened over there on the left margin. As you can see, the one we had yesterday is right here. We have another one. Oh no, the one yesterday is gone. Here we have one coming up on June 20th. So you can access it this way. But in addition to that, I always send you as an announcement, and oftentimes also as an email, the link, because sometimes people get into the wrong link or they have difficulty finding the class in any Zoom meeting. So that's just my process, but it's all the same link. You know, don't be confused by getting it more than once. I'm trying to make sure everybody gets it so that they can participate. Okay, so that's kind of it for the course. The other item that we covered was Dr. Chan came and went over Project Concert. This will be, for most of you, your first exposure to Project Concert if you're going through the program in the usual sequence. Project Concert is a database that contains a lot of different kinds of information for you as a student, and it is a required, you have to use it. Later in your specialty courses, you will use Project Concert more extensively than you do in this course. But we get you started in this course, and I'll show you a few of the things that you will do. So first off, you don't have what you need to get into Project Concert today. You will get an email from Dr. Chan within the next week to get you the access codes and so forth that you need to get into Project Concert. I, of course, am already in there. So here's a test student. Let's just log in. You log it in, and what I want to show you is a dashboard, a landing page, and on the landing page, there's this section I'm highlighting with a cursor right now, student resources, student tutorial, student entry format instructions, clinical requirement instructions, and student user evaluation instructions. This student tutorial is very important that you watch it. I'm not going to open it right now because it's hard to get back out of it, but go to this student resources once you get your access to Project Concert. What you have to do this semester in particular are these student clinical requirement instructions. So that's a video that you open, and it doesn't come, oftentimes they're videos. This one actually is just a PowerPoint that shows you exactly what to do. But what you're going to do is to upload your clinical clearance information that you probably already have in AceMap. And this guide will show you how to do it. But very briefly, I'm going to show you how you would go about doing it. We're in the Utilize tab, Information List. You're going to go to Documents. What you see here is that this person is not compliant with anything. This is a dummy test example for you. But what you're going to do is go in and say Documents, and then you're going to add a document, and then you pick it. What kind of document? Well, everybody has to have BLS. If you're acute care, you're also going to have ALS, but everybody, whether you're AGNP primary or FNP, you need BLS. So you'll have to then upload your document, your, whatever you have, a scan or a picture of your BLS certificate. You will put in the date that you entered it. That can be today's date. They want you to put in a title, so that would be BLS certificate. And then you upload a file, and you would be able to then, this would not be dithered, and you could do that. So you will do that for all of these documents you see in here. Chest x-ray applies to only people who don't have other TB testing, or people who are TB skin test positive, or people with latent TB. They require chest x-rays every 3 years. You'd have to upload that. There's also a symptom review for TB in there. It's not called symptom review, but that's what it is, like your TB history. But none of that applies to you if you're skin test negative. If you're skin test negative, you either have to get a skin test or a serological test for TB. And if you have done that recently for your employer or whatever, then you can use that. Your influenza vaccine, your honor code, your hepatitis B waiver, only if you have a problem with hepatitis B vaccination. Some people are non-responders, some people have moral obligation or objections, and that sort of thing. All of that goes in. Varicella vaccines, all of these get uploaded. And when they do, they go back to, it's going to tell me it doesn't like, there, it goes back to this page. So what happens then is our coordinator for data, whose name is Ilona Uzuni, gets a message from Project Concert. She goes in and looks at what you uploaded, and she determines whether or not it satisfies the requirement. And if it does, then you would turn clear on this. You would show that you're compliant. If it does not, you would be notified that it's been rejected, and then you would have to, if you can't figure out on your own why it got rejected, call Ilona and ask her, why did you reject this? And she will tell you. For this semester, it isn't going to be a big deal. We require you to do what we want it done before you actually go out into the community to a community site to have all of this updated. So if you can't do that, get a hold of me and we can work through something individually. But it is essential when you get to your clinical courses, before you can start your practicum, your hours that are required so that you can certify. Before you can start, you must be compliant. You cannot go to your practicum site in your specialty courses till this is done. We're just trying to get a lot of the process done with you in this course so that you're ready to go when you get to your specialty courses. Of all of what I've showed you today, the most important thing is that you go look at this student tutorial. All of them actually, but this one in particular, and then clinical requirement instructions upload. And that's it. That's what we did. Sorry you weren't with us. And I'm sorry that the actual live Zoom didn't work. As always, you can reach out to me, clouterbach@madonna.edu, or you can contact me by text at my mobile number, which is 810-923-7490. Look forward to the semester with you.